Welcome back, guys. Thanks for tuning in to another edition of Terrible Towel Tuesday. I am your host, SimFBallCritic. And let's jump right into it, man. I told you guys I would be coming back with the live, podcast or what have you, live show, whatever you want to call it, as soon as the season started getting closer and closer. So I'm going to try to maintain this schedule, guys. Like, again, the only time that I won't be able to do it this way is if work, demands me to be there on Tuesday instead of being there on Monday like I normally am. All right, so let's go ahead and jump right into it, man. There's a whole lot to talk about. Let's see, where should we begin? So the Pittsburgh Steelers versus the New York Giants. First and foremost, the first thing I would like to say, man, is the fact that the Steelers actually won the preseason game, which to me in itself right there is enough to, to at least be encouraged about. You know why? Because we all know as Steelers fans, a lot of times we don't win preseason games for whatever reason. We don't seem to win the preseason game. We have won maybe game one the last year or two, so we'll see how the rest of it goes. But for whatever reason, we don't seem to win those games. So it's encouraging to at least see those guys get a win. It was a tough win. It wasn't high scoring. But, hey, it's good to at least see that, right? Now, here's some things I want to talk about. Let's talk about what we actually saw. So, of course, there was no Ben Roethlisberger. There was no Le'Veon Bell, obviously. There was no Antonio Brown. There's no Bud Dupree. No Ryan Shazier. No Artie Burns. No Sean Davis. I mean, none of the key starters that you would want to see, I guess you would say, in terms of defense. Now, that's not a slight to the defensive line. Obviously we saw Cam out there. I don't remember whether Tua or not was out there. I can't remember. You guys have to correct me on that. But even if they weren't out there that long. Cool. But there was a lot of people, guys, that we did not see, in terms of rookies or new guys, which is a little concerning. Now, again, we all know the injuries coming in, but we didn't get a chance to see Cam Sutton. We didn't get a chance to see, again, Senquez Golson. We didn't get a chance to really see Justin Hunter and guys like that. We didn't get a chance to see Sammy Coates again because, we all still on the fence about Sammy, seeing how he performed in the early part of last year. And then, the finger issue, whatever he had, didn't perform as well in the latter part. So we're kind of wanting to see what Sammy Coates still has to bring to the table because, again, the wide receiver position is going to be interesting. Because they're saying Justin Hunter was doing some good things in camp. So I want to see that translate to game. So hopefully we'll see that this coming, game against the Falcons. We didn't see a James Conner. There's a plethora of people that we didn't get a chance to see, right? So with that being said, man, let's just take a look at the guys that we did get a chance to see. Couple people, right out the gate, how can I not start off with TJ Watt? Guys, TJ Watt did his thing. Did he not? This is what I like to see. It's preseason, and I know I'm one of the people who will make an argument saying that preseason is not always the best way to measure it, but at the end of the day, it is. It is. Because regardless of whether they're playing against starters or not, I don't care, whether they start or not. The level of competition is still slightly higher than what it was in college, even if they're playing against second and third, string guys. At the end of the day, they still show their ability. You understand what I'm saying? So even if, let's say, TJ Watt was going against a second, third string guy, you can still see his ability. Now, when he got those sacks off, he was going up against Flowers. He was going up against Flowers, right? And, hey, he did his thing. You know what I'm saying? Fighting off the pass protection. Quarterback has to step up, reaches around, gets the sack. The second one, that was a pure instinct play by him. Quarterback tries to do a rollout. He doesn't bite on the play action or what have you, follows the quarterback, makes the sack. On another play later in the game, he gets the batted ball. This kid has ability. That's what makes me excited. He has ability. You can see it. You understand what I'm saying? Now, let's not forget Oski Woski, our man Arthur Moats. Arthur Moats was out there playing ball. And just like Coach Tomlin said, Tomlin put it in perspective because Coach Tomlin said, hey, listen, that's what he's supposed to do. Tomlin said, I mean, it's like 11th grader playing against JV. I love that because Tomlin is basically setting the expectation. Is like, yo, when you playing against guys at a little bit under the competition level that you used to playing against, you're supposed to dominate. And I agree. But once again, he still got off. And y'all got to remember, when it comes down to cuts, it's going to be quite a few positions. Even Arthur Moats could be a guy possibly on the outside. So I'm loving the fact that he's balling and showing up early to let coaches know, listen, I'm still Arthur Moats. You know, I still deserve to be on this team. So it's good to see that. But yeah, man, TJ Watt, did his thing. So let's talk about a couple other guys, man. I got a whole lot of notes here, and y'all are going to have to forgive me, man. Y'all know how I do. I take notes throughout the game, so there's going to be different things that I talk about in random order. So the first thing I have here is the offensive line protection looked very good on the 3rd and 7 on that first drive. You know, it's good to see that. I don't believe the full first team was playing, but regardless, it's good to see that they was holding things together against the Giants for the most part, their first team defense. Javon Hargrave is still looking like Javon Hargrave early, how he blew up a run. This is what we want to see from, you know, the big boy there. I talked about TJ Watt, so let's get back into that, him and Moats. Watt had 2 sacks, had pressure and a deflection. Moats had 3 sacks on the day and an interception. I mean, you could argue that he probably was the MVP of the game. Moats went off, but again, TJ Watt did his thing. And it was good to see TJ Watt playing on both sides. I like that because that gives us, another little benefit. You know, maybe there's a possession where they want to put Watt on the left side and leave James Harrison on the right. And then there could be a rotation where obviously you'll have Dupree, Bud to be on the left and have Watt on the right. So it was good to see him work on both sides. He said he did that in college. So it's good to have that versatility. Juju Smith-Schuster. Let's talk about Juju for a minute. Had a nice little run there, man, on the end around. Caught a pass as well. Again, here's another kid, man, that looks like you could just see his potential. Just from the little bit that we saw, Juju is going to be special in this offense. I just have the feeling. I have the feeling that he has what it takes. I love his demeanor. That kid balls out. Now you got Hines Ward there being a mentor. Come on, man. The sky's the limit for him. It was unfortunate that he caught the concussion, had to go out of the game. Is what it is there. But, hey, you got to do what you got to do. And all of you guys, real quick, make sure y'all attack D-Mob 79. That's my homeboy right there, but he's a Ravens fan. That's why he comes in here. He says boo. So make sure y'all give him hell while he's in here. All right. What else happened, guys? Ross Cockrell. Ross Cockrell looking a little shaky at times. I'm beginning to think, guys, that we're seeing the ceiling for Ross Cockrell. I don't know if there's much room to grow. He makes some good plays. He makes some questionable plays. He's not the best in-your-face type of corner, in my opinion. Ross Cockrell does a little bit better in space. He did have a couple – I think he had a deflection in the game, but, he gets called for holding early in the game. And, again, it's football, but we need guys that are going to be disciplined. We need guys that are going to be disciplined in some kind of way because y'all know the secondary is still going to be one of the weakest spots on that team until they show improve. We can't afford guys having – these type of, we can't have these penalties because, again, if we're going to be a little suspect in the secondary, the worst thing we can do is hand penalties to the other team and move them down the field, keep drives going, things like that. So I was a little disappointed seeing that from Ross Cockrell. Again, it's early, guys. I understand that, but let's not act like Ross Cockrell is not in his basically 3rd season with the Steelers. Let's not act like he doesn't know what to do. So I can't excuse that as much. What else do we have here? Our guy Dangerfield. Dangerfield out there making tackles, which he normally does. And shout outs to my boy in here, Tony Osborne. That's my guy. I talked to him yesterday. We love Dangerfield because, he likes to bust, as Tony likes to say. He likes to hit people. Only concern I have there, guys, is what I've talked about in the past. I don't like our safety group as a whole. I love Sean Davis and his upside. He's a second-year player. Mike Mitchell, another guy that he likes to bust also. He likes to hit, but he's still a little questionable in terms of, he's a little questionable in terms of coverage. We all know that. He's a roamer. He roams the field, but he's not necessarily a ball hawk or great pass defender. So we like him, but then at the same time, we get pissed off at him. So then after that, who are you happy with? After you get past those two, I have no confidence in Robert Golden. He had an opportunity last year and let Sean Davis come in there and take the spot from him, right? And Dangerfield is not a cover man as well. So just a little leery, a little shaky about the safeties. But again, using Dangerfield in some run scenarios, I'm cool with that. We did that a little bit last year. The kid can tackle. He likes to put his nose in there. I'm cool with that, all right? What else we have here, guys? Oh, here's an interesting one. Fitzgerald Toussaint and Niles Davis. Wow. We got a competition on our hands, folks. Fitz looked pretty fast in that game. I mean, he just looked a little quicker to the punch. Like, boom, he gets there a little faster. He's lost some weight, so he's a little slimmer, but he looked very, very quick. And I don't know if you guys caught that, but he looked a lot faster. However, now Davis showed some things in the run game as well that caught my eye. This is going to be an interesting competition. Now, I know a lot of you guys will probably talk about Watson, which I don't know a lot about him, but Watson had a fairly good game, got the touchdown late. The only problem is I don't believe a guy like Watson will beat out Niles Davis nor Toussaint. Now, and really Toussaint, because Toussaint knows the offense. Toussaint is good in pass protection. So if you're talking about who's going to be behind Le'Veon Bell, obviously James Conner will make the team. It's yet to be determined where he would be, whether he's a second or third guy. His performance will dictate that. So the third person, not no particular order, but the third running back obviously will have to be Niles Davis or Toussaint. I don't think Watson cracks that battle. I don't think he even gets in that category. We'll see how everything plays out. But I'm telling you, man, right now, I think I would go with Niles Davis possibly. He runs a little harder. He makes some things happen. If you noticed in that game, there were some plays where there was nothing there and he created. And if he can give us something in the return game, that's going to be a key keep right there. You don't cut a guy like that. You would hate to see Toussaint go, but that's going to be interesting. Let's continue to watch the preseason, guys, because right now I'm leaning a little more towards Niles Davis. He looked strong in the game. The little performance that he had, but he looked strong. You guys know when I watch the game, I'm looking at it from like an analytical standpoint as a coach. I might see one play and I'm dissecting how you behaved, how you performed, what was your thought process? And, I look at all of that. So it might be a 2-play series for a guy. And I would say, oh, this is that. I would have things to say where somebody else might not even notice it. Right now Davis looks to be that guy. But Toussaint looked very, very quick, very fast. So let's keep an eye on that. What else we got here? Oh, Mike Hilton. How can I forget Mike Hilton? I actually wanted to start off with this guy. Here's another interesting thing, guys. Mike Hilton is probably going to be the corner from Ole Miss that actually stays on the field for the Steelers. You notice I say actually stay on the field because that means I'm putting him in the 53. Mike Hilton. This guy might very well make the team. He looks good in terms of what he can do. The blitzing. He looks strong on the corner blitz. What's the key thing to notice there is he got home. Think about how many guys we've sent on the corner blitz and they don't make it. They don't make the tackle. They don't get to the quarterback. We've tried it with William Gay. Sean Davis had some issues last year when blitzing from the edge, with finishing the play. Mike Hilton just looks like a scrappy guy. Think about, to me, he looks like a fine-tuned Antoine Blake. And the reason why I'm saying that is because I'm talking about, stature and his scrappiness and willingness to stick his face in there. But this guy seems like he has a little more technique, a little more skill. We're going to have to still keep our eyes on him to see what he does in the coverage game. I didn't get a lot of chance to really analyze what he did coverage-wise. I'm actually going to have to invest in I need the all 22 camera. I think I'm going to have to invest in Game Pass so I can start dissecting things like that. But I like him. I like him on special teams. He makes plays. He makes tackles. We've been hearing about him throughout training camp. This kid, and also I've heard that he's been playing second fiddle behind William Gay, which brings me to another point. I like this guy. Let's keep an eye on him because, again, we don't know what Cam Sutton is going to be. And also, Cam Sutton has been working on the outside more. Him and Cody Sensabaugh. Very interesting, right? Where before this all started, we all thought these guys would be the slot guys. Seems like this kid, Mike Hilton, is the type of guy who's taking over that reign. He has the right stature because remember, I said myself, sometimes you might need a smaller person in terms of height to play in the slot. Because if you think about some of the slot receivers who give us the problem, it's those little guys, those Edelmans and Amendola type dudes. You know what I mean? So sometimes you need a guy on their level, which is the reason why I thought Sanquez Golson would have been a perfect fit for us in the slot. You know, we're away from those days where the glory day, man, when we had when we beat New England. What was that, 2012, when we had Cortez Allen in the slot, you know, a bigger body, and we had my man Keenan Lewis on the outside and Ike. That's when all of our corners were big, but I don't think you really need that for a slot corner these days. You know, it's hard to find a slot corner with some size, in my opinion, but we'll see. But let's keep an eye on Mike Hilton, guys. That dude did fairly well, man. Again, with the corner blitz. He had a nice tackle on, I have the notes here, nice tackle on the 4th and 2nd down in the 4th quarter. This is the things you look for, man, with these guys trying to make the team. Let's keep an eye on him. Let's talk about Josh Dobbs real quick. Came out a little shaky, right? Came out a little shaky. I mean, my man was, I don't know. You know, I guess it's the rookie jitters. I mean, he came out and I was just like, you know, he didn't sell the play action well on one of those interceptions. It's just the accuracy was just like in the dumps. And, you know, you hear that from the analysts. That was the knock on Josh Dobbs, you know, coming out of college, as they said he's not accurate. And for me seeing that in the game, I was like, oh, man, come on. But what did he do? He showed resilience. They kept him in the game. And he ended up having a decent game. He made 2 nice throws. You know, one particular would be, of course, the touchdown that he threw to Kobe Hamilton, who beat Antoine Blake, or Valentino Blake, as he calls himself now. You know, we're used to seeing that, right? So that was a nice pass, right on the money. You know, basically hit Kobe Hamilton in stride right into the end zone. Beautiful pass. That's what I like to see. But then also there was another one. There was another pass he threw before that to Hamilton down. I believe it was Hamilton. It may have been Severin. I think it was Hamilton, though. When he threw the ball high, excuse the ringing in the background, guys. That's my work phone. Apparently, they don't remember that, you know, I'm currently out to lunch. Y'all got to forgive me for that. But anyway, this is live. That other pass that he threw high, I think it was Hamilton. He had to go up and catch it between the 2 defenders. Nice positioning, you know, nice location on the pass. That's what you want to see. You know, what I saw out of Dobbs doesn't appear to be nervous. You know, he did have some jitters early, but if you watch his, you know, watch the whole game, the way he stepped into his throws, the way he hung into the pocket, took off one time when the pocket broke down. That's the kind of stuff you want to see out of a rookie and from a guy that knows he can use his legs. But that made me very encouraged. Is he going to overtake Landry? I don't know. We're going to have to see, because we all have to remember that this guy is still a rookie. You know, whether we like Landry Jones or not, Landry Jones knows the system more. He's been in more situations. However, if Dobbs is able to outplay him, we're going to see. We'll see. So I like what I saw out of him, man. You know, he looked like a rookie early, but being able to hold his resilience together and do some good things later on in the game, and those 2 throws that he made that stand out to me, that was very encouraging. What else we got here, guys? The Steven Johnson interception as well that got negated due to the holding penalty. I believe that was on Ducre or Dixon, one of those guys. But that was a nice play as well, because Steven Johnson is another guy, along with Medikevich, who is probably going to be at backup inside linebacker. Speaking of plays that got negated, that one play to Dobbs, remember the other play he made down on the other end of the end zone where he, avoided the sack or what have you and made the throw, and that got called back for offensive something, holding or penalty or whatever it was. But that was a nice play. So Dobbs made some great plays in that game, man, that I was excited about. And the last thing I have here, guys, is it was some nice blocking displayed by Jake McGee, a tight end. I know nothing about him. I just know he's on the roster. Nice plays he made consecutively on that drive where Watson scored the running touchdown. He made key blocks on both of those plays, especially on the touchdown. Don't know if he's going to crack the roster. I mean, you would expect it to be Grimble, James, and probably David Johnson, but we'll see. We'll see. It was just very encouraging, man, to see a guy like that being able to block, because let's not forget, Heath Miller, man. That was the thing we loved about Heath Miller. Not only was he a great tight end in terms of catching and getting open and being reliable, the man could block. He was very important in that run game. So if you are a blocking tight end for the Steelers, you got a chance. All right, guys, so let's talk about a couple things here real quick as we wrap up. I'm going to definitely look at some of your questions and things here, so I'll be doing that as I'm talking. Well, actually, let's go to the questions first, and then we'll wrap up. Golston is done. I believe you're referring to Golson with no T. Yeah, I think it's over for him. I think it's over for him, man. I mean, my man has a lot that he's going to have to show. Let's face it. I see people out here arguing with me like they're saying, yeah, man, but when he gets in, we've been saying that for 2 seasons, dog. This is the three strikes and you out. You know what I mean? So he's going to really have to do something miraculous. I mean, these last sessions of training camp and these last preseason games, first he has to get back in there. And if he does, he's going to have to show out. Because if not, one of these other dudes might creep right up in there and get him up out of there, man. And it just is what it is. Kobe Hamilton might make the roster over Coates. That's a good point, Scott. Coates better get on the field. And that's the unfortunate thing about the sports, man, especially with football. It's like Tomlin always says, it's a moving train, man. You don't have time to wait. It's unfortunate that you might be very talented, like a Golson, but if you ain't on the field, what can we do? And like Coates, let's say Coates doesn't get on the field when we expect him to and he doesn't perform. Because in preseason, you only get a certain amount of opportunities. And here's Kobe Hamilton out there doing this thing. However, let's not forget Kobe Hamilton is still eligible for the practice squad, if I'm not mistaken. So that could be an interesting thing there as well. Let's see what else you guys are saying. People in here talking about Madden. You guys are tripped, man. Excuse me. Let me see what else y'all got. Y'all got any more questions? Do you agree with Joy Porter's comment about TJ Watt being a starter and Harrison being in a reliever's role? I do. And let me explain to you why. First and foremost, that's what Harrison was supposed to be anyway. Last year, if we all remember, even 2 years ago, before last year, when Porter and them were saying that James Harrison was basically going to be on like a pitch count. We're going to give him a certain amount of snaps, preserve him, if you will. He is older, but if he is a strong pass rusher and older, you want to be able to preserve him for certain situations. Last year, that didn't work out because Jarvis Jones just didn't show up. So they had to put him in the starting role. I feel like if you can get TJ Watt to be the starter and he's performing, and you have his youth, and you have Harrison's ability in times and special situations, that's what you do. They don't need to start in James Harrison and doing it in reverse and have Watt come in. No, if Watt is able to do his thing and be dominant, you start him. Then you let James Harrison spell Watt or spell, Dupree. Like maybe Dupree has to take a breather. You move Watt on the other side, put Harrison back on the right side. I absolutely agree with that. If and only if TJ Watt is ready to go. All right, what else you guys are saying here? Dallas Ramsey says he'll be at the game Sunday. That's what's up, man. I had thought about going to that game, but I'm not going to be able to make that one. Oh, Jacob Perkins says Watt and Bud coming off the edge is going to be a scary. Yeah, I hope it is. He says it's going to be scary for quarterbacks. I hope so, man. I really hope that this is the year where we can get some real pass rush again, and we're not blitzing linebackers. You know, I love Blitzburg, but let's face it, man. If you can get pressure from the front four when we're in the, in our nickel package, that's what you want. That's what you want more than anything else. Let's see what else we got. Patrick Covington said we shouldn't have drafted a quarterback in the draft, period. I don't know if I agree with that. Okay, who are we coming into the season with if we didn't draft anybody? Think about that. Landry Jones was going to be the second guy, but who's going to be our third or our backup quarterback? Who? Maybe Mettenberg? I don't know. I don't think there was a problem with drafting a quarterback in this draft that's not going to be your starter. That's not going to be Ben's replacement. That's not going to be the franchise guy. I don't think we lost anything at all by drafting a quarterback in this draft. It's just my opinion. See what else you guys are saying. High Def Gaming says no quarterback in the draft. With Ben keep throwing out of there, he might be done. Y'all definitely needed a quarterback. Where you select them is where we selected them could be the question. Absolutely, you probably could have got somebody a little later, but I absolutely agree with drafting a quarterback because again, let's face it, man. Ben Roethlisberger has not been healthy. He's not played a 16-game season in quite a while. So now you're already saying that Landry Jones is going to be your backup. You would hope that if Landry's not getting it done, there's somebody you can bring in behind him or in front of him. And you know what I'm saying? And it's better to just go ahead and draft a kid instead of trying to get some of these guys who are out there in the pool. I know some people were saying, maybe Kaepernick could have came. And I'm like, maybe, but that's like after the fact. You know what I mean? But they needed to do something at quarterback. And the way the Steelers organization works, why not draft a kid the same way you did Landry Jones at the time that they drafted Landry Jones? Why not? Right, what else here? Yeah, tight end definitely may have been a bigger need. I just believe at that time, I don't know if there were any tight ends still available that would have made an immediate impact. However, I did think that we would have gotten a tight end somewhere in the draft. I definitely thought that. And actually, I think we could have got the Kittle kid out of Iowa. I think we could have got him when we got Dobbs. So that's interesting. I can see it going back and forth, though. George Kittle. I believe we could have definitely got Kittle around that time. So that's an interesting argument. I definitely agree with I think they needed a quarterback and a tight end. If you want me to be honest, I think we would have drafted a tight end somewhere in that draft, and we didn't. We decided to bring in some of these guys, undrafted, and hasn't necessarily worked out so far, but we'll see. But yeah, the only thing else, guys, I want to finish with, man, Brian Allen is another guy that we talked about, excuse me, in training camp. He's still raw. He's doing some good things. He actually made a good play in that game where he, chased the receiver, ran, and he didn't even look back for the ball. He played the receiver's hand, put his hands up, ball hit him in his hands. That was a great play. I think he's still a project, though. From everything I'm hearing, just listening to the coaching staff, listening to guys like Alex Kozur, guys who are out there scouting, he's still a raw talent. This is a guy that was converted to a cornerback from being a receiver. It's going to take him a little bit of time to get technique down. But Brian Allen, as of right now, I'm fearing that he's probably going to end up a practice squad guy, which we may or may not, lose him at the time. But right now, we got time. We still got a little bit of time left, man. We don't know what's going to happen in the cornerback position in terms of performance and injuries for the duration of preseason. But right now, he seems to be one of those guys that can do a few things, but he's just going to have to keep elevating in order to, make it a compelling argument to get him on the 53-man roster. Let me think. What else do we have here, guys? Is there anything else I want to mention? That's probably it, man. Wide receiver position again, it's going to come down to Coates, Houston, Hunter, Hamilton, and Haybay. That's going to be an interesting fight because you already know Martavis Bryant is back, which I'm glad to hear that. They're saying he's looking like Martavis Bryant in practice. I just want to see him in game as well. You know, it has been a year. Let's not kid ourselves. It's been a year. I know he knows how to play football, but listen, you haven't been hit and pressed and, you know, collided with bodies in over a year that's really trying to stop you. So I want to see how he performs in game. Hopefully he gets to play Sunday. But with him being back, you already know it's AB and Martavis Bryant, right? Then more than likely it's going to be Eli Rogers in the slot, which could be challenged by Juju. So I feel like both of those guys make the team, though. Obviously, Juju Smith-Schuster will make the team, and he will have a role. We're going to see that kid play. I mean, this year. Second round draft picks don't sit. So it's very likely that it's going to be Antonio Brown, Martavis Bryant, Eli Rogers, Juju Smith-Schuster. Those are the four. The fifth spot up for grabs, 5th and 6th, because the Steelers are probably going to keep at least 6 receivers. You would like to say at least that you would think the 5th person would probably be Sammy Coates, right? You would think Sammy Coates would make it. So then let's just go down to the 6th spot. Kobe Hamilton. You got Justin Hunter. You have DeMarcus Ayers. Let's not forget him. And then you got Darius Haywood-Bay. That is going to be very interesting. Some people talked about Cannon Severin. Cannon Severin, if I'm saying his name correctly, had a few drops in that game, and look what happened. Steelers just waived him. He's gone. So now you got Ayers, Haywood-Bay, Justin Hunter, and who am I forgetting? Kobe Hamilton. It's going to be interesting, man. I don't know who's going to make that 6th spot, but my gut instinct tells me right now that it's going to come down to whether or not Justin Hunter provides anything on special teams. If he can provide anything on special teams, though he hasn't played special teams in the past, it'll probably be him. And then you're looking at Justin Hunter being a part of that 6-man core. I don't think they go past 6. I don't think they go past 6, and possibly being able to put Kobe Hamilton on the practice squad. That could definitely give us a pretty dangerous or, pretty talented receiver core. So again, my 6, I think would be Kobe Hamilton, being at the bottom, Sammy Coates, Eli Rogers, Juju Smith-Schuster, Martavis Bryant, and Antonio Brown. All right. And like I said, Justin Hunter would. Oh, I said Kobe. I meant to say Justin Hunter. Justin Hunter being at the 6th spot, Kobe Hamilton being on the practice squad. It's gonna be interesting. But last but not least, man, this is how we'll end it today. William Gay. Looks like we're gonna still have William Gay, guys. And let me give William Gay some credit for a minute. I don't think William Gay is as bad as some of us think. And I say us because I'm sometimes hard on William Gay. I do think his prime has passed. However, if the Steelers are able to get more pass rush, a more consistent pass rush, right, from the front 4, and we always say front 4 in the nickel because our normal defense, obviously, guys, is the 3-4. If we could get consistent pressure, we got something. William Gay is not that bad. William Gay can still play space. William Gay has a tough time right now in man coverage in the slot. Yes, he's a little older, and it is what it is. But if we can get away with allowing on the outside, if Artie Burns can be the press guy that we're hoping he's going to be, if Cockrell can give us any type of press capability, or SimFBall, let's not forget SimFBall, because SimFBall has been playing on the outside also. If any of these guys can improve what we're able to do, where, you heard Butler say we definitely want to go with man coverage and things like that more this year and more match, then I think William Gay can still help out. Do I prefer William Gay to be the starter? Not necessarily. But let's be honest. Let's be real for a minute. Who takes his spot? Even if Senquez Golson is healthy, he still would have to prove himself on the NFL level. Cam Sutton would still have to prove himself on the NFL level in the slot. Cody Sensabaugh has played slot, but he still would have to prove himself consistently in the slot. You understand what I'm saying? See, a lot of times with NFL teams, guys, and just sports in general, teams go with their veterans and whoever they think has the best chance. And a lot of times later in the year, as guys progress, they might get overtaken, by another person. Like last year, Artie Burns wasn't the starter at first, but eventually Artie Burns' play allowed him to become the starter, and they moved Gay inside. But if you're being real with yourselves, we don't know. Mike Hilton might be the guy. I don't know. But to start off the season, we're probably going to have to sit here right now and say that William Gay is going to be the starter in the slot. Now, to me, if we're being positive about it, William Gay has played better in the slot than he has on the outside, right? Last year, our defense got better in the second half of the season, right? Where was William Gay? In the slot. It was worse when William Gay was a starter on the outside. Can we not agree on that? So even though I would like to see more youth there and someone else have an opportunity, I'm not going to deny the fact that, hey, if that's the best we have right now due to injury and things like that and experience, you got to go with that. All right. And I apologize for keep scratching my nose, guys. It keeps itching. I'm sorry. But yeah, that's about all I got. And what's up, Shop, man? I saw earlier that you congratulated me on the 15K. Appreciate that, bro. I appreciate that, man. You know, we both trying to grow together, guys. And if any of you guys who are into Madden, who's watching this, which a lot of you guys are, and you're heavy on CFM, make sure you check out Shop. Again, Shop has had this show on Tuesday nights for the longest time where it's centered around CFM. It is tonight. Shop, definitely feel free, man, to share your links and your particulars here in the chat. But yeah, man, appreciate you coming through like always. And you guys, again, if you're into CFM and Madden in general, you definitely want to tune in to Shop show each and every Tuesday night. I believe it's at 9 p.m. Eastern, if I'm not mistaken. All right, so real quick, guys, before we get out of here, this show definitely went a little longer than expected. Let me see what you guys are saying real quick. Bronco G says, don't do it, Sim. William Gay is horrible. He's always gets burnt. I mean, listen, I hear what y'all are saying, but y'all are not providing me with solutions. Who's the replacement? Who is it? That's all I'm saying. I don't want William Gay. Y'all know I've said that. I don't want him. I've been saying this since the beginning of training camp. And this is what happens in social media is everybody has selective memory. Y'all know I've been saying since the draft, it's time for William Gay to be replaced. But what did I say? I said it was going to come down to performance and who's available. And at this very moment, who is the replacement for William Gay? Right now, who is the guy? Shop said the water boy. See, this is what I'm saying. That's all I'm saying, guys. Listen, it's not always as obvious as we all think it as, fans. It's just not always that easy. Apparently coaches, they go with who's the best option. Just like I'll give y'all another quick nugget. Like I said last year, I sit and watch Steeler games a lot of times with other Steeler fans, like my father-in-law, and he's one of those people that criticize each and everything, but he doesn't really know the sport as in depth. And I told him, like, even against New England, I said, listen, man, they're doing that because that's all we can do. We don't have the team right now that could just play man the whole time or, do match coverage, right? Thought I was crazy. Then you hear Keith Butler come out and say, listen, we just ain't had the personnel. We didn't feel like our guys were equipped enough or even advanced enough to do some of these match concepts and run man. So last year, we mostly ran spot zones. Is that not what I said? So my point of saying that, guys, is sometimes we have to understand that what we're seeing is from a fan perspective. We have to trust what the coaches are doing, whether we agree with them or not. You would have to think that if we want to improve our defense, and the coaches are vocal with saying that, coaches have been vocal this year saying we're going to do some different things. We acknowledge there's some weaknesses. William Gay, if he is the best option, that I have to believe that that is it. Everything else that we're saying is speculation. We said Golson could be the slot, but we have not seen that guy play on the NFL level, nor has Cam Sutton, nor has Mike Hilton been a starter, nor has SimFBall really consistently played well in the slot. So that's all I'm saying, man. Hey, what are they going to do until they find that guy? So hopefully it changes. And if not, and again, man, listen, I'm going to get ready to get out of here. I'm definitely going to get out of here. But I just like to entertain you guys sometimes. Again, Tamarcus Sims says cut him. But again, who is the replacement? If y'all ain't giving me a solution or giving me an arguable statement, ain't nothing I can tell you. Get rid of him. Cut him. Okay, who's better? Who is better in the slot today? Right now. Until somebody gives me that or at least make it a good argument, I ain't hearing it. I'm just saying. And see, like David Cook says, he likes Gay. Gay does a decent job. I mean, he's not the best corner. Yeah, he gets burnt from time to time. Like I said, on the outside, nah, not a good look. And the coaches made that change last year. So obviously they saw some of what we saw as well. But the defense performed a lot better when he was moved into the slot. Is he my first choice? No. But at the moment, I have no other choice. I thought we were going to see Golson and Cam Sutton come out, competing for that position. It ain't happening yet. So until I see that, maybe by the 4th preseason game, it's a different tune. But as of right now, that's what you got to do. That's what you got to do. But all right, man, I got to get out of here, guys. I have burnt up my whole lunch hour pretty much talking with you guys, which I never mind doing that, when it comes to the Steelers. So I got about 9 minutes left to heat up food and try to eat and get back to work. But hey, I appreciate everybody coming through. Let's watch the game on Sunday and see who stands out and who doesn't. Let's keep an eye on what's going on in practice. And hopefully we get to see James Conner. We get to see a Cam Sutton or any of these guys at corner who are hurt. Maybe Golson, I doubt it. Hopefully we get to see Martavis Bryant. Hopefully we get to see who else we want to see. We want to see Dupree. I want to see Bud play. He says he's ready to go. Coates is saying he's ready to go. Hopefully we get to see some of these people that have question marks. And that's what I want to see. And we get to see guys like Hilton and Brian Allen and be able to play more. And I want to see a little more Dirty Red as well, because I like Martavis. Really like Martavis. So that's all I got for you guys, man. So if you haven't already, make sure you subscribe to the channel. Cut on your notifications so you're fully aware of any videos that I have up. And I promise you, man, it will never hurt you to hit that like button. So, all right, guys, that's going to do it for today. Here we go, Steelers. And I'll see you next week. Peace.